Hello, welcome to another episode of Gamer B&B. It's been a little while since we had a pickups video, so this will be our biggest pickups video yet. We have games from, let's see, 10 different consoles, so sit back, relax, and yeah, hopefully this gives you a good taste of gaming history as we go through. So first up, we'll start with our Atari 2600. We have Midnight Magic. It's a pinball type game I used to play, really fun. And we got our NES. We have Gradius. Fantastic rail shooter game. Marble Madness. If you haven't played this, it won Game of the Year award back when it came out, so I highly recommend you try this one out. Kung Fu. And a little unknown game, Tetris. Next up we have the Sega Genesis. We have the not for resale copy of the original Sonic the Hedgehog. We also picked up Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I never actually played this growing up, so trying it out for the first time was really fun. Getting to see the little differences it had from the first. We have Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat. We have this game. This is actually Lion King on the Sega Genesis. So we have it also on the Super Nintendo, and there's some slight differences in the two games. Here's the not for resale copy of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. A lot of Sonic fans will call this their favorite. Introduces his companion Tails here. We have Golden Axe. This is very much like an arcade game. Sega did a lot of arcade ports. They did a really good job at it. And last for the Sega games, we have Aladdin. Now again, just like with the other Super Nintendo, the Lion King, this one plays a lot different than the Capcom version. This one you get to use Aladdin's sword, which I thought was really cool. Alright, moving on. We bought this. This is a Game Boy. This is the original Game Boy. Came out the year I was born, 1989. You can fact check me on that. Really interesting playing it. It has kind of this ugly green screen, but just holding this thing, it's so much meatier than the other Game Boys I remember playing. It's heavy. It holds four AA's. So, but yeah, we thought it'd be cool to have this. We had some recommendations to get one of these, so we have the Game Boy. We have a bunch of little Game Boy games here. We have Brain Drain. This All-Star Baseball 99. I think this was my brother's copy way back when. We have Super Mario Land. This is the game that introduced Daisy as a character. So you're trying to rescue Daisy. We have Wave Race. If you know anything about Wave Race, their 64 one was pretty popular. And they have a Game Boy game of it. A few more Game Boy games. We have Solitaire. Darkwing Duck. This was a little show that came out, cartoon, and I have a Game Boy game of it. My favorite of the ones we have, Tetris Attack. If you've never tried Tetris Attack, it's my favorite puzzle game. Really fun. We've got a Super Battle Tank. A Bug's Life. This was a Pixar movie that came out, I think, right after Toy Story. Shanghai Pocket. This is a puzzle game like Mahjong. If you ever played that, this one's pretty fun. And another movie title, Men in Black. That's it for the Game Boy games. Next up, we picked up some more Nintendo 64 games that I thought really needed to be at the Gamer B&B. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This one holds up today even, so I really like this one. This is Super Smash Brothers, the first one that came out. Kids really enjoy this one. We have Pokemon Stadium. This came out shortly after the Game Boy games, and it was really the first time Pokemon came to 3D, so got to see your characters in full 3D, which was cool. Beautiful game by Rareware, Banjo-Kazooie. Not much negatives to say about this game. There's a lot of fans still that really enjoy playing it. And in the same vein, we have Donkey Kong 64, Collectathon's dream game. Fantastic racer, Star Wars Episode 1 racer. For the time, it had really good graphics and just very fast racing. Really good game. And then Mario Kart 64. So this would be the second Mario Kart game that ever came out. Okay, we're going to move on to the original PlayStation. First up, we have Duke Nukem Time to Kill. G-Police Weapons of Justice. A lot of these games I haven't played, but it'd be fun to try out someday. There Goes the Neighborhood. WF in Your House. Love these titles. This is a really cool one a friend gave me. Time Crisis. This came with a light gun for the PlayStation that you can use. 007 Tomorrow Never Dies. A good racer here, Crash Team Racing. Supercross, it's an EA Sports title. Supercross 2000, if you just can't get enough of the motocross. And last of those, Championship Motocross featuring Ricky Carmichael. We have Nicktoons Racing. If this doesn't bring you back to the 90s, I don't know what won't, or what will. We have Electronic Arts' Sled Storm, snowmobile racer. Army Men Green Rogue. Army Men games were really fun growing up. And it's cool that PlayStation had one here. Extreme Pinball. Ballistic. And last of the PlayStation 1 games, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 3. And the PlayStation is really interesting because there's over 1,000 titles that came out. So if you're trying to collect a whole PlayStation library, best of luck to you. Next up, we're going to do the PlayStation 2. I got to pick up original PlayStation 2, the bigger version. Start with an exciting title here, NHL 2002. I don't know if anyone collects sports titles, but they're cheap. Got Grand Theft Auto 3. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. SSX, good snowboarding game. A little bit out of order here. Ratchet Deadlocked. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. I love how PlayStation 2 is trying to be a little edgier than Nintendo. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, and the original Ratchet and Clank. These are really fun 3D platformers. Got Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Resident Evil 4. I have yet to play any of the Resident Evil games or any horror type games. I'm just a scaredy cat. We got the original God of War. Devil May Cry 3. Final Fantasy X. We have Call of Duty Finest Hour. I believe this is the first Call of Duty game that came out on the PlayStation 2. And last of the PlayStation 2 games, Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. I didn't grow up with a PlayStation 2, but I've been having a blast trying it out now. Picked up a few more Sega Dreamcast games. These are pretty cool titles. Capcom vs. SNK. This is an arcade fighting game. SNK is from like your Neo Geo arcade games, so there's that. We've got Worms Armageddon. I remember playing this with friends growing up. I think we had one on the N64, but this is the Dreamcast version. And Marvel vs. Capcom. This one's a great fighter. Moving on to the original Xbox, we picked up Halo 2. Medal of Honor Frontline. On the Xbox, we have, this one has D-Day as its first mission. Really good job on that mission. We have Area 51. And Fable, The Lost Chapters. Heard good things about this game, just haven't tried it yet. Then we've got the Xbox 360. Picked up BioShock. We picked up The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is what it originally came out on. There's been a ton of mods on PC, but this is where it started, so I had to pick it up. We have Halo 3, the last one of the trilogy here. Ultimate Alliance, this is a really fun multiplayer game if you're going through it, the campaign. And we got Call of Duty 2 on the 360, so I think that's pretty cool. Getting a few more Call of Duty games from the old ones. We picked up a few more Xbox One titles. We have Far Cry 5. Needed some sports titles on the modern consoles, so got Madden 22. Some recognizable faces there. NBA 2K18. And FIFA 21. So we got our football, basketball, and soccer titles. And just a couple more on the PlayStation 5. Visions of Mana, pretty good series here if you've never played any of the Mana games. One of my all-time favorites is Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo, which we have here. We got Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, which comes with Thief's End and The Lost Legacy. And we have Horizon Forbidden West. And this game I was able to try out on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and we played it on the Sony OLED TV, and this just looks gorgeous. So again, that's it for our pickups. We've got a full library of games for everyone to check out when they come visit Gamer B&B. Our web designer is finishing up very soon, and we'll be announcing our start date when the website is finished. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.